Can I see a show of hands of how many of you, and be completely honest, I'm sure you're not going to be the only one putting up your hand, if you're either uncomfortable or shy away from overcoming an objection when a customer asks you an objection. Beautiful, thanks for being honest. Do you know that 68% of the time a sale is lost because the customer just was not asked a decision-making question to purchase? 68% of the time a sale is lost because the person who's selling hasn't sat there and said to the customer, out of the two, what are you leaning more towards? Or out of the two, what do you think you'd prefer? Or even which one would you like to give a try? A decision-making question has not been asked, which means about 32% of people, or 32 people out of 100, would actually ask for the sale. Of that 32%, I'm going to start throwing some numbers here at 8 o'clock in the morning. Woo. Of that 32%, less than half will actually overcome the objection. 44% of that 32% will actually overcome the objection, meaning 14 people out of 100 would attempt to overcome an objection and try and close a game. So you guys who put up your hand, thank you for being honest. Of those 14 people who ask, are you with me on this? Yeah? 3 of them, that is 22% of that 14, will actually overcome the objection a second time if it comes up. For example, out of the two, what are you leaning more towards? Customer might say, maybe this option, but I'd like to have a think about it. So 14 people out of 100 would now attempt to overcome this by saying, I can understand you want to have a think about it. Do you mind me asking what it is you want to have a think about? Let's just say the customer then turns around and says, I'd like to check with my wife. Only then 22% of the people, or only 3 out of 100, would actually attempt to overcome the objection a second time by saying, I can understand you want to talk to your wife. You know, we've had a few men in the past that want to have a chat to their wife. Been under the thumb? Are you joking? So let's go into just some of the role plays. We're going to do a role play on the bad, and there's different extremes. So we're going to do a person that doesn't attempt it first, who perhaps shies away from it. All right. So I'll just set up the scene. What we're going to do is I've already gone through qualification. I've shown Peter around the business, the studio or the health club, and now I've just been through the prices. Yeah? Mm-hmm. So Peter, there's a few options that we have. Out of the two, which one do you think would suit you better?
I just probably want to go and have a bit of a think about it first.
You want to have a think about it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure, that's fine. Did you want me to write these prices down? On
yeah, if you could jot those down, I can take them away. That'd be really great.
Okay, beautiful. No worries. Pause. So you get the one person that just completely shies away, yeah? They just say, okay, what on earth do I say here? I'll just say, okay, no worries, let me just keep the conversation flowing so I look really calm. Let me just grab a timetable or something to write the prices down. True? Then you've got the other extreme. What's the other extreme? You have the person that goes for the jugular, yeah? They just go in the attacking mode. So let's just try this one. All right. So Peter, out of the two, what do you think you're leaning more towards, the results or the lifestyle?
Can I just have a bit of a think about it first?
You want to have a think about it?
Yeah.
What's there to think about?
Oh, I just want to go through it, maybe check with my wife. And
check with your wife. Does your wife ever call you when she goes out shopping, buys a pair of shoes, or checks with you the grocery list? Pause, don't even answer that. So we've got some different extremes, yeah? We've got some that just might get a bit cranky. Why did you waste my time? I remember I went to do objection training with a girl, and it was one-on-one training, and honestly, she had fantastic closing stats. She was a great closer. She was in the high 90s, which is very rare for people to be in the high 90s for sales closing on the day. I went to do objection training with her, and she said to me, Annette, that's not the way I do it. This is what I say to the customer if they say they want to think about it. How dare you walk out that door and tell me you want to think about it after you've just told me that you've felt fat for 3 years, you haven't had your clothes fit you for ages, and she started, I went, okay, that might work for her. But now what we're going to do for you guys is teach you a process that works with most people, all right? So we're going to go through